Honestly, this shit is way bigger than Bumble, but it's time to boycott Bumble. Let's dive into American history, shall we? In 1994, Congress passed the Women Against Violence Act. This act took 4 years to pass. There was heavy opposition. Why was there so much opposition, you may ask? Because of one tiny clause. This little clause that got everybody shook is called the Civil Rights Remedy. The Civil Rights Remedy allowed women or anyone that was a victim of gender-based violence to sue their assailants in federal court. Justice must really make people mad because the opposition argued and argued and argued. Their argument being such a clause would fill the courts with familial disputes that had no place in federal court. Obviously, Congress smelled bullshit too, because in 1994 they passed the act regardless. And for the first time, women could take their rapists to federal court. This is where shit gets really interesting. In 1994, college freshman, I'm not even going to attempt to say her name, was allegedly gang raped by 2 other students on Virginia Tech campus. Months after the alleged rape, she says one of her assailants announced in the dorm's dining room that he liked to go get girls drunk and fuck the shit out of them. This same student admitted at a school hearing that he did indeed sleep with her, but it was consensual. Virginia Tech obviously did nothing and proceeded to admit the assailants back into school. Completely distraught, Chrissy attempted suicide and ended up dropping out of school. After a Richmond grand jury refused to indict her attackers, Chrissy turned to the newly passed Women Against Violence Act, specifically its civil rights remedy, that allowed her as a survivor to take her assailants to federal court. Almost every court rejected her constitutional claim until finally it reached the Supreme Court in 2000. Heartbreakingly, women's right to equal protection from violence died in the United States versus Morrison case. Antonia Morrison being Chrissy's attacker. You might be thinking, what does this have to do with Bumble? Well, here's the gag. The Supreme Court ruled in Morrison's favor, ruling that Congress had no power to protect women from violence because crime is a matter for the states and not economic. However, Bumble, the dating platform that literally profits and became a billion-dollar company off of their promise to keep women safe, is now silent about the role that they might have played in the death of Lauren Smith Fields. I guess that makes this economic. Like for part 2.